Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another episode on Gold Media. I'm your host, Down the Crypto TA. And for that disclaimer, the content presented on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. All opinions expressed are solely those of the presenter and are based on publicly available information. Investing and trading involve risk, including the potential loss of principal. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. Let me get one thing going straight here and jump right in. All right, let's get over here to the chart. All right, so the price of Bitcoin has just been kind of stagnant and sideways. We're still holding inside of the demand zone at the moment. The area in which I mentioned to you that you could scalp from here, but I potentially would be waiting to see if price could get down to the value area low, golden pocket area 786, somewhere closer towards the low of our current consolidation range, which is going to be this here. So value area low here. Also the golden pocket is here. Then we have the 786 here. Once we get into our final demand zone, this area that we've been consolidating in for quite a few months now. And then the midpoint of the demand zone, which is what you typically don't want to see yourself trading outside of, is the midpoint. So and of course, I got the low. So if we do, the VWAP here, if we do sweep it, we want to make sure we reclaim it before we take any long entries on it. So that's sort of all I'm waiting for there. Something is going on with my what's going on with my earpiece. Don't know what it is. I'm gonna try unplugging it and replugging. Mm, I don't know if that really made a difference, but okay, we're just gonna move forward here. So I was just reading a little bit of an article here. Boy, uh, so apparently, there's been some Bitcoin transferred onto Coinbase. Now, it doesn't indicate that it has been sold yet, but there is the intent that it could be sold since it did move over to Coinbase. So just a little article read right here about the U.S. government transferring about 297 million in crypto assets to Coinbase Prime, according to Arkham Intelligence. All right, so 3940 BTC and 30,000 Ethereum, and this was sent over yesterday, the 13th. So the reason why they're bringing it up is because of the contradiction of it could end up being a contradiction. Let's just put it like that. It could be end up being a contradiction of Trump saying that sees Bitcoin should go into the strategic Bitcoin reserve and not be sold. So we have something to be on the lookout for. Really, this isn't something that has to be reported or anything like that. It doesn't have to be. This is just something that you have to literally watch for. Watch for from, somebody posting it and, unless you keep up with transactional stuff like that, but it's not something that has to be reported with the SEC or anything like that. I don't typically follow this stuff right here, um, but I figured I would throw it out there to you because it came up in my market update this morning. That would be crazy, right? But that's what we get when we start hoping that institutional players get involved. That's what we get. We don't move the same. We've noticed that. We do not move the same. All right, so the demand zone here, uh, back above the VWAP right now, currently wrestling with the point of control. Uh, Again, if you're a rotational person, then you are looking for price action to come all the way down here, instead of taking out the high, getting above that value area high and taking out the high. You're not looking forward to something like that happening at the moment. I'm just gonna pull these in just a little bit, or pull them out a little bit right here. Uh, all right, cool. um, from what I can tell, remember yesterday we had the um the bullish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame. Recall I mentioned the bullish divs. We have the lower low on the oscillator and the higher low on price action. That is still in play right now, where we have the sorry about that, where we have the lower low on the oscillator still in form, and the higher low here on price, which is divergence here. Also hitting bullish divergence here that we're attempting to play out. But all I can really tell is that by the time we come up, we're more than likely going to put in some bearish divergence right in here, and fail. So a pull up, a push back to the upside, you're going to be looking to short that, in my opinion, right now, from what I can tell. Um, there are we are around a mean reversion. On the daily time frame, not the RSI mean reversion though, but I am still looking at a mean reversion from momentum, um, from Stokes, mean reversion there. So it's a little bit of a pivotal um, point or a continuation from the daily time frame that could bring us back up in here. Remember the lows in here that I was mentioning also. So that is what we could be looking for price action to come back into. It's just going to be the lows right in here around 62.7. We'll just call it 62.7. That's more than likely going to be like a golden pocket also. I'm going to pull it from a lower time frame just to make it a little bit easier of seeing. So this is the area yesterday that I highlighted, that price action has potential of coming back into here. It's a pretty large strike price also if you're looking at ETF stuff. But if I pull a fib on this here, it's likely going to be like a golden pocket or something like that. Dynamic duo. Maybe I need to raise it up then. Okay. So yeah, if I raise it up, then yeah, it's pretty close to where that golden pocket is. But I would think that price action would get up into here, and then we would be looking um to short it. So for a lower high to take a short position there. If we get past this zone right here, which we're beating it, we're hammering away at it right now. So potentially could. And then again, like I said, could look for a short position right around here. Um, so this would be one area of interest, and then the other one would be if price somehow miraculously gets past the point of control and back up here to the value area high for this particular region right here. Mm, which at the moment I don't have a short open, so that wouldn't be bad. A little bit of bearish divergence I see here on this 1 hour time frame. You can see the bear div right across here on this 1 hour time frame. Looks like we had a break up yesterday and then we back tested before getting back up there. Okay. Um, but there's the bearish divergence right here. Lower high on price action higher, high on the oscillator here at VWAP and at the value area low um, of the lower range that we have. Potential, you could potentially look to short this, but momentum isn't showing me that it's fading here on this 1 hour time frame just yet. Everything looks pretty stable, but if you want to take a chance on that and stop loss would go above. And it's probably better to put it up here, but that's a lot of risk on that. Um, but if we get all the way down to the low, then it makes it look a lot better. It's pretty choppy and toppy, but before market opens, you really don't know what's going to happen, right? So, like I said, if you were to take this, your stop loss would need to be up above this point right here, and then you'd be looking to take it. I'm gonna set it just for a three to, yeah, for 3 to 1, like so. And we can't wait for momentum to start to shift in here. Yeah, let's just do that. There's no sense in rushing in, right? Even though it is hitting some resistance in here, and it's okay to want a short resistance. Let's just let momentum give us some sort of indication in here, because otherwise, like I said, we would be up here around this golden pocket point of control area in here. All right, so I'd rather go with um, this idea here. All right, so we'll know in a few minutes if that's going to be a good thing to do or not. You got the bearish divergence for sure. Got the bear divs, and we're at resistance. Um, DGN if you want to. DGN if you want to. Let me push out to the daily. You can see we initially got our little drop down right here on the daily. We were just hitting the lower bounds of our trend. We started to break it a little bit, but no closure below it. Reclaim back inside of it. So, um, yeah, I definitely want to catch a short though. I need to get into a short position. Just see what that is. Quite a bit of resistance right through here. I am considering a short right here. Um, hmm, very much considering the short. Just afraid of battling with that 4 hour, that's it. Afraid of battling with the 4 hour. But I am considering that short from here. I don't think we have any new information on the weekly or the monthly time frame, so drop it back down over here. Take a little nibble. Yeah, I'm taking a little bit of a stab right here. It's a small position size, so I can give it an abundance of space. Yep. Let's see. I get stopped out. I get stopped out. So keep it like so. Yeah. Did enter into a hyperliquid loan yesterday. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything at all. Sadly. I got a couple of extra stuff in here. Need to start up a little bit before I jump over here on it. Um, Alright. So I mentioned my interest in taking a long position on Hyperliquid if it gets down here around this zone right here. To set the alert on it yesterday as well. So golden pocket 786 here. Hasn't really done anything. So not not seeing any any harvest from it just yet. May not. Especially if I'm looking at shorting Bitcoin from here, to just end up doing what Bitcoin is doing. Um, Possibly coming down a little bit lower. Yeah, it hasn't done anything since it dropped into here. So, not making anything from that. Probably even down. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, I'm actually down on it, which is weird. Do I need to refresh this chart? I don't know why. Um, but yeah, I'm down. I'm even down on it. It's saying I did it as soon as it tapped the golden pocket. But this, of course, is a Q coin chart, and I'm on a blow fin chart. So um, yeah, I am down right now. Well, I'll probably end up just closing this out here in a minute. Yeah, I'll likely just end up closing this out here in a little bit, especially if I start to see it roll back down here. Just gonna close it out. Um, what else was there? Zcash, Zec came back and hit the trend line here and the support level as well. This is what I was looking for yesterday is potentially coming back into the 382 50% retracement, and then if it holds right in here around the lower part of the support level without taking out the low, could be a good long position. But right now, it's trying to respect this trend line. I don't really think that it has the ability to respect this trend line again. But then, you know what? Then again, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it does. It does. It does ever so slightly in here. Let me see. Um, what all is in here? I hate this. Put that away. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it still looks pretty decent. Um, if it starts to continue with the consolidation right here, then it's going to drop. I mean, this will be the last place to look for a long on it before it rolls over. Um, depends on how long it stays here. Hopefully, I get to look back over here at it. Right now, excuse me for the yarn. Right now, the best bet was from right here, and then the final place that it may attempt to bounce from is going to be right here. But beyond here, it's just it's crappy, and we can catch this thing lower. In here, all 4 hours look like this right now, where momentum is looking to increase to the upside, but may put in a little bit of bearish divergence right here, and then we see that drop into here. If you're looking to short it, then you might be able to catch a short somewhere around this point right here, around this red candle right here with a stop loss at the high. There's nothing else in here, really, that I've been trading with. So it looks like Solana came pretty close to hitting that 50% retracement, which was from Friday. Um, what we were looking at. It was a measured move down, which would have put it somewhere around this 382 or this 50% retracement right here. It's looking like a bear flag right there, right here. Looking like a bear flag. Sideways. I'm gonna skip one zone that's in here. I can see it, but I'm gonna skip it and focus on uh, this one right here. Yeah, I'm gonna focus on this one. Although I'm likely not gonna be looking to trade this, but to see what the reaction is like if we start to lose this 50% retracement, because this does look a little bear flaggy right here. Looks like it looked right there, like it looked right there, like it looked right there. Looks right here. Let's see this continue to roll over, especially if Bitcoin does spill over here. Uh, Oil is still pushing. Oil is has a toppy reading, um, but it is still pushing. I wish I'd have. I mean, I couldn't have played it anyway, uh, unless I just bought it outright. Bought it, which I wasn't gonna do that. Yeah, oil is still pushing. I think the initial, what's the initial? I can't remember where the target was at. It may have been this gap fill. Maybe it's able to get in here and fill in the gap, but it is toppy. It's very toppy. So I don't know how much further this is gonna go, but it is quite toppy. If you can get it here, then, you will have a little bit more resistance in here as opposed to just where the pivot points are, because it is currently above the pivot right now. You got a slight reaction right here, some sort of a flag more than likely came in right here, but it does read that it is toppy, okay? Quite a bit to go if it were to that's a lot. I think it's a bit too toppy in my opinion to for 3 to 4% move. I don't know what your risk is like, but, um, mhm. Yeah, maybe it can push into this gap fill, and then I would be looking to short it, but again, it does indicate that it's pretty toppy in here, very toppy, actually. Um, so it's worth the consideration. Now, I can say that the delta and the MACD would just indicate that it would just be a correction and not a reversal. So we get a little bit of a correction in here, maybe something more like this right here, and then the continuation to the upside, possibly, since it's driven by geopolitical factors. It's hard to say 'cause it's not just moving, randomly. So maybe you get to do something I'm gonna do it from here. And forgive me for my stops because my stop the last time, my stop the last time set it for 3. It could be something like this. Maybe you get a chance to enter it from here. That'll change the dynamics of the risk to reward. Um, but I would be looking somewhere around here. We can push into there. We're gonna be even extra toppy, even more toppy. Honestly, I don't know if it gets here, but worth the consideration right through here. I just like to make the colors a little slightly different. Sorry. Um, oh boy. Yeah. Unless you take it from here, I'm kind of scared to say from here. I'm just gonna set it on here, exactly where it is right now. We'll just see how that works. But this is the main idea right here. Back into this gap field right here. We have this next VWAP sitting at also, and we have the ascending trend line of resistance. And I like a little back test back in here, and then a rejection. It doesn't actually have to fill in this gap, but that's the situation here for oil. Bitcoin is trying to break that. Just pushing back into that value area low again. Let's take a look at SPY. So SPY still, I mean, no invalidation just yet on this BS over here, which was an aggressive entry. I just set it to the side. Close. It got pretty close. It may still come back up if we're going to see oil get some sort of a correction. I'm pretty sure that SPY will try to come back up here. Or maybe this time it respects the trend line and it continues down a bit. If it does, again, those areas of taking profit is 731, and then if you're lucky, which I don't know, this will take a lot of time to play out. The the bottom is 714, but this will take a lot to play out. I just think whatever happens in here, if price action was to come back down towards our trend line here, that it wouldn't manage to hold it. It would, because the last time I don't even know what happened right in here that caused these tweezer bottoms to take place. But um, that's what I'm thinking. But we shall see. I'm just gonna slide it back over because it makes me nervous every time I look at it. Makes me nervous every time I look at it. SpaceX still looking like garbage. Garbanzo in here. Um, I did notice yesterday that, we dropped and we did hold the back test on this lower part of this, falling wedge in here. Looking forward to tap into this 1.618 right here. That's what I am looking for, but it is starting to consolidate a little bit right over in here. Very exhausted. That hasn't mattered. Um, that has not mattered one bit in here thus far. Excuse me. But measured move did play out fully. Just trying to see if this is gonna be 5 waves down. This is still in the midst of wave 3, which is why I'm looking for it to hit this 1.618. I typically do a minimum of a 1.618 and then get a 4th wave move up, which makes it look like it's reversing, and then you get one more drop to the downside, possibly here. I would love, love now we're not getting under $100, but that would be nice, right? Under a hundo would be nice. There is some support. I think it's like the VWAP. I think VWAP is no, not VWAP, but standard deviation 2 sits down through here. Have a number for that. I think I have that in here. Yeah, I do. No, yeah, 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 yeah. Standard deviation 2. So if it were to get down there to that 1.618, you can see it would line up with that standard deviation 2 right here around that 133. Yep, it would line up right here if by grace it was to get there. Right now we're inside, we're coiling, mother bar and coiling right here, right now. Just mark that out. And then I can drop to a lower time frame here on SpaceX, my base. Again, the measure move was based on that triangle that we were initially in for the drop down. So that's what that was based on for anybody that's wondering why it's sitting inside of this pattern formation. It's in here for that very reason because it was based on uh, this situation right here. Wonder if that makes a difference from a lower time frame. It doesn't. I put it back like it was. Just wanted to make sure. mean, it's just sideways, just straight up sideways. I don't really see Bollinger might be tightening up around it. Yeah, so the Bollinger Band is tightening up around it. I mean, if you were interested in longing, SpaceX and you didn't catch it down here at the lows, your stop loss would definitely go below the low of the base right here, below the low of the candle over here, assuming that price action, um, assuming that price action will rotate back to the top of the, falling wedge and maybe even just break out of it. It would be a good risk to reward to the upside. It's a better risk to reward to the upside than it is to the downside right now, in my opinion. You come out better looking to long SpaceX than looking to continue the short move to the downside. Not that it can't go on forever, because it can. It can. I just think that you're gonna have a I knew I should have waited on Bitcoin. Wait for that momentum to flip. It's not flipping right now. It's okay. It's early noise right now. Anything, I just have to close it out, but the problem is I reversed a long position on it. I reversed my long position on it. Mm, which means I'm just gonna be sitting on my hands. It's trying to push to that 4 hour. I knew I didn't wanna play against that 4 hour. So yeah, I mean, if you were doing it from here, let me just see how bad this is gonna be. If you were doing it from there and your stop loss was, ooh, I hate to think about it coming all the way back down here to this. There's no better way of doing it though. It'd at least be a 2. Could we be at that point? I don't know about that, but I'll tell you in a minute. Let me see something. Yeah, that makes sense. Just trying to make sure it was gonna make sense. Unless, like I said, it does come down here into the 1.618 right here, um, which again is gonna be in line with that standard deviation. Standard deviation 2. It's never t I mean, it hasn't touched it so far, so maybe that is it. It hasn't touched it so far. Not a lot of data on SpaceX, so, uh, yeah, might be alone. It's quite extended on this 4 hour. It still can go a little bit more extended, but it is quite extended on this 4 hour time frame now. I think it's worth the chance. I think it's worth the chance in here. As long as it's inside this base, you could probably find a better entry. Uh, could be a base rally. All right, let me jump off of this one. Take a look back over here at MU. I haven't seen any new updates here on. Let me see why I had that thing open. Let me just double check again this morning. I can tell you one thing. When I entered the stream yesterday and I went back in to check and see if MSTR had posted anything, they did. I shared it with you on X, down to crypto TA, at down to crypto TA. I shared it with you there. He did dispose of some MSTR. Uh, apparently, it was the latter part of, I guess you can say Sunday. We'll just say Sunday because it reads as of 7/12 how much MSTR they have. They still have. Um, so just checking here to see if anything new came up on MU. I don't see anything new coming up just yet. But it looked like we weren't gonna make it right through here. But it's still holding up okay. I'm not in the trade, of course. Like I said, when we were talking about it before we got into here, potentially that it could hold right in here, and if it didn't, then we'd be looking out here at the gap. If you didn't feel the same way about a long position, look to short it around the VWAP. If you get a rejection off of VWAP, you could look to short it there. Looks like we might have the potential of holding here. Hopefully, it comes in and fills out completely. Looking forward to get back into the gap. So nothing has changed here with MU unless it rolls over and breaks down and comes in here and does the gap. Still trying to hold up in here. It's not the prettiest hold on that trend line, that's for sure. Um, but after Maybe it was just another chance at getting long off of it. I don't know. I added this, fixed value range to it yesterday, but we had already got the projection without having to. I'm look. I would like to do Broadcom. Uh, I would just like Broadcom back down here somewhere. I tend to go with my personal levels. Um, I tend to go with these pivot zones in here, unless it's a trend line somewhere. Um, that's what I prefer when it comes to the stock market. Um, so I'm still waiting to see if I can't get MU, not MU, but AVGO Broadcom uh, down here closer towards the channel low. That would be great. Let's see what kind of bounce it's getting right now. Yeah, drop it all the way to this low. Okay, so 382, 50% retracement, which can be bullish. If it holds it, I'm not gonna buy it from up here though. So if it does, it does, and then we'll be looking forward to break out of here. Uh, yes. Go ahead. I can get back. Okay. would like a retrace into this pivot, or back to this low, one entry. I would like that. Prefer this low. And that is a 382. That's also a VWAP. That's also the, what was that? Point of control. Mm, pretty decent confluence right there. I don't know. Something to think about. It's a little bit too high for me though. I'm not gonna chase. I'd rather again get it back down here towards this 369, see what it looks like there, or back towards the bottom side of this channel. Anyway, let's see what this thing is looking like. So I notated a mean reversion back down to the weekly. Let me take a look at the weekly, which the weekly was for 2043. I'm gonna hide my drawings for a minute. So it is still positioned. The mean reversion here. If it has any stamina, oof, I'm not a big fan of this. I only keep looking at it because somebody had requested it one day. Um, I think I had a lower target in here today. I actually looked at it though. On the higher time frame, I did. Yeah, this is the breaking point right here. So if it does lose this, then be continuation down. This is the breaking point though. And have the bear div on it. Mean reversion here. trend is bearish. Um, but you do have some temporary, some short-term moves, but the trend itself is bearish. Yeah, trend is still down. It was putting in bearish divergence through here. Um, yeah, first time I looked at it, I noted the bullish divergence in here too, but it didn't play out accordingly. It ended up just rejecting from that trend line. Hard to count it with all of these wicks. 2, 3, 5. Let me go back to Bitcoin. If you're still holding on to ELF, you're doing good. Um, I sold mine. I think I sold it off of this point right here. I went ahead and let it go. Uh, but if you are still holding it, kudos to you. I don't know why I still got these lines in here. Why I got these lines in here? 113, how long ago? Do I got a note in here? I'm not getting a note. Check. It's still looking good though. Again, potentially just an ABC correction. Oh, well, be looking for it to take out this high right here. If I did it any justice, because tell you the truth, I don't know. I personally did good to make the decision to buy into here because I was going to be petty and wait for it to hit this. I wanted it on this trend line at this golden pocket, but I did end up buying it here, and then I sold it right about here um, for whatever reason. So it might have been A, looking for a correction for a B, and then a C wave, taking out this high back in here. If that was correct on the 5 wave move to the downside there. Stable trend. Mm, 24-hour. Very choppy. Anyway, I know I'm not getting any information from that. I'm looking to get back in. Should have stayed in. I don't know why this is here, so I'm gonna delete it. And all this other funny business I was doing, let me get rid of it. Little flag right here. Means it must be holding at 382.50. It's nice. It's actually really nice right there. We'll put it back at its channel, potentially top side of the channel. Possibly. I like everything from within here. Just checking something here. Just want to see. Uh, yeah, this looks good. This looks really nice. How do we double tap into a mean reversion though? I can get this one. Um, are we underneath it now? It looks good. I would want to see personally. I want to see Delta flip back above the zero line. I mean, it did it right here, but it didn't go too far. I would rather see it flipping back up because otherwise, maybe it doesn't manifest. But right now, it looks good. It's something worth considering to at least get into these zones in here. Uh, maybe it even again goes further and takes out that four. This is some bearish divergence somewhere on the next push up for L. Let's see what happens with the market today. Let me jump back over here on Bitcoin, take a look at Biddy. Maybe keeping my eyes on hyperliquid before I get messed up. Okay, it's pushing a little bit more. I really should have been waiting for this. It still looks good on the 1 hour. I know that my premature entry still looks decent on this 1 hour. Very purple. Oh, I don't want to move that one. I'm gonna have to have this one. Potential expansion. Again, it might be looking to come back into these lows right here. So I'm gonna have to kill this. Yeah, I think I gotta kill this. And then look the short on the retracement up here. I think it's gonna come in right here. Looks like we might also have the 20 SMA there as well. Hello, please check ETH. I'm sorry I missed your message. I sure will check Ethereum. Um, you know what's easier? If I just do this Bollinger, look at that 20 SMA, I think it comes in. Now it's down a little bit lower. I might have to kill this. I think I do. What time frame are you most interested in with Ethereum? Obviously, that's the value area high. Maybe no, above it. So value area high for this lower boundary is below here at this point, this PWAP here. And so this must be let's stretch it out all the way, then pull it back in. Personally, I was looking for some shorts right in here around the 3.8 to 50% retracement on Ethereum. That's what you saw on the chart initially when I opened it up. Uh, I'll make an adjustment right here. It's very possible that this is a wave four. This consolidation that's right here is a wave four, and we're looking for another wave down, which would be a wave five, just based on this right here. But the only issue I have is actually, hold on, let me see something. Value area high. Trend is still good. Bear divin. So I know I'll be looking for a short. I wouldn't be looking for it to, and I'm still looking right here around this 3.8 to 50% retracement personally. I just think that it's a short opportunity. The same as Bitcoin right now. Looking forward to at least come back down into the golden pocket retracement level. Does it happen from here? Does it happen from here? Right now, the trend is still up. Rejecting off of this VWAP right now. Inside range on daily. That's some pretty decent resistance through here. Uh, at one of my daily levels. Yeah, I mean, it's a short if you ask me, from where it is right now. If you can get it to push back into this VWAP, I personally would be looking to short it. Um, doesn't look bullish, and again, bearish divergence would be the probability here against the highs over here. There it is. So this would be one short op right here. That is one short op, and then the second one would be right in here around this value area low of this range right in here. I'd rather go with those two than whatever I had in here before. Yeah, yeah, looks like a short. Looks like something you short, unless it's about to expand out. It looks like something you were short, unless it's about to expand out. I think this is the biggest resistance zone for it right now, where it is. 1893. Yeah, I would say short it. I don't see it being bullish right now. It is at its biggest resistance zone at the moment. And I know it's this right here because this is where I suggested a loan could take place because of how many times it bounced in here. We got that initial bounce. We ended up closing below this trend line right here for the first time. I'm grappling with it right now, but all of this resistance through here that used to work out. Yeah. Um, and then if it pushed in anymore, it would be at that second resistance point I was just highlighting, which is around these lows right in here. So I would be looking to short Ethereum. I don't think we're quite there yet. The only positive thing I can say about this is that Ethereum has never closed below a prior low. Is something that I always explain in here. When we got the VWAP bounce, that I would personally not be looking forward to close below because it never has historically, ever, ever, ever. Um, ever, at least according to this Coinbase chart, it has never closed below a major pivot low unless it does something different this time. I would look for a long entry back down here, close towards this VWAP right here. Like I said, potentially golden pocket retracement. Same thing looking for Bitcoin is to get back down to the golden pocket to the value area low. I would think that Ethereum would end up doing the same thing. So definitely a rejection point right here where price is currently. We're looking for it to come back down. Um, short. What about that? Mhm. Got that it is starting to outperform Bitcoin, right? Mm, it is starting to outperform Bitcoin, but still, mm, I would still say you short it from here, or you potentially short it from this value area low. I'll still conclude with that. Let me look at the lower time frame. Nice on the lower time frame. And it's stable. And trend still up on the lower time frame. I'm gonna spend too much time on this. Bear divin, bear divin, possibly bear divin. Higher time frame suggests again the short somewhere either around this top side right here or back that. Yeah, I hate to repeat myself, but that's all I see right now. For Ethereum, looks good on lower time frame. It is starting to outperform Bitcoin. We did get the golden pocket bounce and the break of trend line on ETH versus BTC, so that's decent. I don't think it takes out um, the local low from down lower. I don't think it takes that out, but I think it still wrestles with the resistance where we're at right now on price action. That's my point of view on it, and that's all I got to say about it right now. Yeah, it, if you're long, you're looking good though, especially if you caught it anywhere down lower. You're looking good. Just a little pullback and then continuation up. Obviously, looks real good. Looks real good. But right now, I would not go long. From where current price is. I wouldn't look to go long from current price. Is all I'm saying. Current price. Mm. We're toppy on this 15-minute time frame. I think all of this, yeah, we're a bit toppy on the 15-minute. That's why we struggling a little bit around here. A little toppy here on the 15-minute. So I'm keeping the short going. All right. I am about to depart. Again, we are a little bit toppy here on the 15-minute time frame. 4-hour time frame looks pretty good. I really hate fading the 4-hour time frame because it does look pretty decent. Momentum is still to the upside on the 4-hour time frame. It's hard to tell it from in here, but momentum is still up on the 4-hour time frame, but very toppy here on the 15-minute time frame. Maybe we can get in here and take some liquidity, do an SFP right in here, or maybe a little slight pullback, and then Bitcoin decides to continue up and gets into the support resistance area right here. Otherwise, I'm still looking to long the lower end for if we get the full rotation to the downside. I'm still looking to long right here. Still looking at this as potential long position. If that fails, I mean, I'm not going to limit order into it. I'm just going to see what price action looks like if we get the full rotation down into here. See what it looks like once it hits here. If the value area low starts to fail again, I would look down here. This is the bottom shelf part of the support level down through here. This is also where the 786 resides at right here. So this is another area of interest right here at the 786 retracement level. I can draw that fib just to give you some clarity right here. So from the low to the high, golden pocket at the value area low, 786 also shelf of the lower half of the shelf support that's in here as well with the order block demand zone right here. Tap into that demand zone and see how price action reacts there. And then the last thing I would be looking at is going to be somewhere around the midpoint of the demand zone where we have this little pivot, this volume node right here. We have this volume node, and that's also the midpoint of the demand zone. Anything beyond that, price action will have to come back into here in order for me to want to long it. I likely won't look at the SFP. I likely won't. Let's say hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is failing to get outside of that channel. Um, yeah, I likely won't look at it in here. I don't even know if we do a SFP, but I likely won't look at anything below VWAP. It'll have to come back in above VWAP, above the demand line right here in order for me to reconsider the long entry. Anywhere down in here, I probably won't. To tell you the truth, I probably won't. But it's 8 o'clock. The market usually starts to move a little bit more around 8 o'clock. It never moves a lot from the time that I start streaming. Uh, but again, a little toppy on this 15-minute time frame. A little toppy on the 15-minute, but a decent looking 4 hour time frame. Decent looking 4 hour time frame. It's hard to tell with all of this crap going on, but it's a decent looking 4 hour time frame. Like 4 hour time frame. I should be saying the 1 hour, decent looking 1 hour time frame instead of 4 hour time frame, but decent looking 1 hour time frame. My bad. Decent looking 1 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame is simply trying to play out a little bit of exhaustion to the downside right now. So you can see momentum turning up here on. I don't know if I have that in here. I don't know if I have momentum. Yep, I do. I do. Uh, so you can see momentum again is turned up in here, but you're starting to put in bearish divergence through here. Bear diving in here. So by the time it gets somewhere into here, it's like pure exhaustion. But I'm starting to get a buy signal on the RSI. I'm down about 5% right now. I'm down about 5% right now trying to short Bitcoin right here. And it's only because the 4 hour, I mean, the 15-minute is toppy, but trend is still down. But 1 hour, again, 1 hour ain't terrible, but it's bear diving. I'm gonna hold on to my short. It had to stop me out. I'm gonna hold on to it. Retracement back in. I'm looking forward to get all the way down to the golden pocket, even if I have to reconsider where I take my short position from. Only way I change my mind is if momentum does break back. If the RSI on the 4 hour time frame were to break back above that trend line there, then momentum could be shifting on the 4 hour time frame. It doesn't look bad, but it's very toppy on this time frame right here. So we've just been walking the line. If you know what walking the line is, we've been walking the line through here. So it's very overlappy, so it is very corrective. All right, come on back down, baby. Come on back down, baby. I hate to add something else onto my chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these VWAPs out of here. Yeah, that's all I got. Sorry. Um, and we got a shelf of liquidity down below here as well. Some pretty decent liquidity down below here to come back for semi-equal highs down here. You can say semi-equal lows down here. You can say semi-equal highs up here as well, where we're building up liquidity up here. So not a guarantee that we take this liquidity down here at the moment. We could just kind of consolidate through here, but the 15-minute looks like it needs to correct slightly. And then I know what I'm interested in terms of my long position, what I just covered with you. Personally, I will scalp where I see fit to scalp, but all of this liquidity through here, this low, this low, this low now. I mean, it's really on the table. This low right here, all of this down through here. It looks like the dream. All right, I'm out.